We come now to a very important subordinate clause called the characteristic clause. And this one really has some interesting meaning based on the way it is constructed. So it starts off being introduced by a form of qui, qui, quod, the relative pronoun, meaning who, whose, whom, which, or that. It uses a subjunctive verb. And when it comes to translation, you'll want to use something like sort of, kind of, or would. And the best way to get into this is with an example. So here we've got two Latin sentences. And you'll want to do this and then pause the video so you can do your work. But you want to circle the relative pronoun and underline the verb in each sentence. Then identify the tense and mood of each verb. Again, pause the video while you do that, and then press continue. Well, you should have circled qui in each sentence. That's the relative pronoun. And in the first sentence, underlined verberabat, and in the second sentence, verberaret. And with the first sentence, verberabat, that BA makes it very clear you have an imperfect indicative verb. And in the second one, verberaret, which you can see from the dictionary entry, is really just the second dictionary entry with the letter T stuck on at the end. That makes an imperfect subjunctive. So now what you want to do is translate each sentence. Okay? Again, pause the video, see what you can do, and then press continue. So what you'll notice is the first one says, Marcus was a boy who was beating dogs. And that's just a straight, what we would call a relative clause. But the second one says, Marcus was a boy who would beat dogs. That's the characteristic clause. So let's just say a quick word about the difference there. In the first sentence, the indicative mood is indicating a fact. So maybe there's been an unfortunate incident of animal abuse in the neighborhood, and the police are looking for the person responsible. They catch somebody, and the conclusion is Marcus was a boy who was beating dogs. We know for a fact he was one of the boys who was doing it. That's fact. The second sentence with the characteristic clause says, well, we don't really have enough hard evidence to say that he was in fact a boy who was doing it. The subjunctive indicates the suggestion. He was the sort of boy, the kind of boy who would beat dogs. So a very, very significant difference between the subjunctive mood and the indicative mood, and that produces a very, very significant difference between these two types of clauses.